For what feels like the last year, the entire conversation has been about chatbots. But that's all changing. We're stepping into the era of AI agents. I'm talking about tools that don't just talk, they actually do real, valuable work. So if you're building anything in AI right now, you're going to need a whole new playbook. And this is it.
All right, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get into why we're moving past the simple chatbot. Then, we'll introduce what might be the most critical new piece of this whole puzzle, the AI control layer. We'll map out the major platforms you have to choose from, show you where the real value gets created, and give you a solid framework for making the right call. And finally, we'll wrap it all up into a practical playbook for you and your team.
So let's just dive right in with the huge shift that's happening as we speak. You can really feel it, right? We're kind of moving into a post-chatbot world. The focus isn't on building another clever novelty anymore. It's all about building these deeply integrated systems that are truly essential to how a business runs.
And this is the one question that every single builder, every founder, every engineer needs to be asking themselves right now. Is your AI a flashy demo, or is it a reliable system that actually delivers real business value? Because trust me, there is a massive difference between the two.
And here's the absolute bottom line. Isolated chatbots just have a hard ceiling on how much value they can create. The real game changer, the thing that gives you a genuine competitive advantage, is an AI that can plug into your data, truly understand the context of your business, and then take action inside the tools you already use every single day. That's the huge leap we're all trying to make right now.
Now, to actually make that leap, we need a totally new piece of architecture. And the best way to think about it is as the system's new brain. We call it the AI control layer. This concept right here is totally central to everything we're about to talk about.
So what is this thing really? Well, think of it as the intelligent middleman. It's this orchestration layer that sits right between the raw power of a huge foundation model, like a GPT or a Claude, and the very specific context of your business. We're talking your data, your tools, your permissions. It's a secret sauce that turns a powerful model into a truly useful agent.
And this map really just brings it all together beautifully. You've got the big AI models up at the top, and way down at the bottom, you have your data sources and enterprise systems. That's your CRM, your files, your databases, the whole shebang. But the real magic, it's all happening right here in the middle, in this AI control layer. This is where things like OpenAI's Responses API or the Model Context Protocol live. And they sit right alongside all the connectors and permissions that give the AI the context and the power to actually do something. Okay, so now that we have the architecture down, let's take a look at the battlefield. You see, there are a few major players emerging, and each one has a very, very different strategy for building this control layer. And the bet you place here, it has massive implications for your future.
You've basically got three camps staking their claim right now. First, you have OpenAI. They're going all in on a powerful but proprietary platform built around their Responses API and Agents SDK. It's super convenient for sure, but it also locks you right into their world. Then you have the MCP ecosystem, with players like Anthropic really championing open interoperability with their Model Context Protocol. That's the play if you want flexibility. And finally, there's Google, which is laser-focused on a deeply integrated enterprise solution, weaving Gemini into their whole suite of enterprise connectors and cloud services.
Now here's the thing. Regardless of which one of those platforms you choose, this next part is completely non-negotiable. The real power of any AI agent is only unlocked when you connect it securely and reliably to your own internal systems. This is not just some technical detail, it's the primary source of your competitive advantage.
This is so important. I'm going to say it again. Your connector strategy is your product strategy. Deciding whether your AI agent can talk to SharePoint or pull data from Jira or schedule meetings in Google Workspace, that's not a back-end task you just hand off. No way. It defines the core capabilities and the real value of your product.
And we're talking about the bedrock systems that run pretty much every modern business. Giving your AI agent access to platforms like these transforms it from just some generalist tool into a specialist that deeply understands your company's unique context and workflows. This is where the actual work gets done.
Okay, so the landscape is obviously complex. So how do you actually make a decision? Let's get really practical here and walk through how you should be evaluating your stack.
When it comes right down to it, it all boils down to this one core dilemma. Do you go with a proprietary platform for its immediate convenience and all its tightly integrated features, while accepting the huge risk of vendor lock-in? Or do you bet on open standards for long-term flexibility and resilience, even if that means a bit more integration work up front? There is no single right answer here. It depends entirely on your strategy.
So for all the builders and engineers out there, here's what you actually need to be testing. How well does the platform handle tool calling?
How granular can you get with the permissions? What does the latency and error handling really look like in practice? And this is a huge one. Can you actually observe and audit what the agent is doing? These are the questions that separate a production-ready system from a fragile demo that's just going to break.
So with all those evaluation criteria in mind, let's put together a forward-looking strategy. It's time to tie all these different threads together into a playbook that helps you make choices that are still going to look smart in 2026.
And here it is. 4 pretty simple steps. First, focus on a solid, repeatable workflow that solves a real problem, not just a cool demo. Second, like we've been saying, treat those connectors as core product infrastructure, not some afterthought. Third, you have to build in governance and observability from day one. And fourth, and maybe most importantly, just assume things will change. Design your system for migration and interoperability because this AI platform layer is moving unbelievably fast. And this quote just perfectly captures the core idea of this entire briefing. Look, the best model today might not be the best model 6 months from now. What truly matters for building a lasting, valuable AI product is how robust its integrations are, how clear its governance is, and how durable it is in a real production environment.
So, that leaves us with the final big question. This space is evolving at an incredible pace. The choices you're making today about your AI stack, about balancing proprietary speed with open flexibility, about your connector strategy, about governance, these choices are going to define your ability to compete. So the real challenge for you is to choose a stack not just for what works today, but one that is designed to win in the long run.